in any business, right? And especially in cultivation and in cannabis. So what are some tips to building and maintaining a strong team of people to help this brand grow and become what it is?
I think it's really important to just find like-minded people in each of your departments. You want to have as many A team people don't want to work with B's and C's. So people that are motivated, and then obviously making sure that you're consistently paying them, that they're growing
on time and full.
Well, no, but just actually the succession planning of it, right? So if you're starting somebody that's just starting the garden somewhere between $18 and $25, that at some point they're seeing folks that started with you a couple years ago now making 80, 90, 125, 150K.
They got to see a path.
You got to see a path to like actually moving up, and I think that that's really important. I think that cannabis in general could do a better job at that.
That's a big tip, because you hear it all the time where anybody, they get into it and they're either promised a path and they don't see it in reality happen to anybody else, and they're like, well, this is kind of a dead end, right, to a degree. And
or just promoting from within, right? Like try to really find some diamonds in the rough, and try to find people in your team that you maybe see some great qualities of that they don't see in themselves.
So what are maybe one or two stories of some qualities that you've seen in people and you're like, this is what I'm looking for every time I'm adding to the team?
I think people that just the basics in the beginning, which is coming in early and staying late, really making sure that they stay till the job's done. That's the one thing about cultivation, whether they're making sure that things are cleaned up, everything's placed where, especially in cultivation. I mean, just following the SOPs, following the steps, then getting to the point where they can improve your SOPs, making those types of, that they're not afraid of sharing the knowledge that they have. They're okay with training other people. They're not worried about, that person's going to take my job. They're like, I want to build this person, I'm going to build the person up. So those are good, and then also when things go wrong, a good leader is going to take the L. It's going to say it's 100% my fault. And then when there's a win, they kind of say, "Hey, this is all the team." So I think that those are the good qualities of good leadership. So.
Good stuff to look out for.
Yeah.
Because I've heard you say it multiple times, and clearly it's working, and it's probably one of the toughest parts of the business. I mean, because you could have a recipe, you could have the equipment, you could have the genetics to grow the plant, but to operate effectively and continuously, you got to have the team. You can't.
Gotta have the team.
Or else you live at the grow. You can't build the company.
And you're gonna stay at the same size that you always were. So there's something about that. Scaling is tough, and you need people to do it. And you got to have people that are feeling, empowered and entitled. Yeah, we are at a disco. That's good. I like it.
So talking about scaling. Tell us a little bit about your history scaling from delivering grams in New York to where you are today.
I think from being selling cannabis to moving into the cultivation side and then growing a brand from there, I think has been the biggest flex for scale, that we actually grow everything that we sell. Now we started in California, in Colorado. I think when we exited Colorado, I had almost 1,700 flowering lights, which was between three warehouses, which was a lot. But then here we have a 500 light facility, a 2,000 light facility, and then another 1,500 lights down south. 2 distros, 189 amazing human beings.
Wow.
We're just and we keep growing. We're about to put up another 2,000 flowering lights in West Sacramento. So we're betting that we're going to be able to really feed the rest of the United States or internationally with California weed. That's what we're betting on.
What other option is there? What other possibility is there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is what we have today.
Go big or go home.
Yeah, and at some point, ideally in our lifetime, it's going to change so we could benefit from it. Know what I mean? But I think it'll happen quicker than we all assume.
I agree.
So with scaling that high, we're talking about your HPS lights and stuff earlier. What are how do you maintain that quality as you scale up? Because it seems you found that right balance and you're able to scale and maintain quality.
Believe me, it's still round after round. So I think that we're working on keeping that quality. I would say post-processing. I mean, you could grow perfect, amazing product and then completely ruin it on the dry cure trim side and how you're storing the cannabis. So the main thing is making sure you're not growing too much that you can't sell it in time. I think the biggest deterrent to cannabis in general, it is a commodity crop. It's going to oxidize. It's going to go bad. It's going to go dry.
It has a shelf life.
It has
a time
a shelf
frame,
life.
yeah.
So make sure that you're getting it into a packaged good so that people can experience the freshest version of that strain. It's super easy to ruin a strain. You could have 5 good batches, 3 bad batches, then all of a sudden nobody likes it. So make sure that, if you don't have the best batches of certain strains, you want to keep that in your stable. Don't package it. Figure out something else to do with it. But yeah, just maintaining that strain integrity and brand integrity, I think will get folks pretty far.
So what are some of the bigger challenges you dealt with in that post-processing that you overcame that allowed you to,
Oh, I think that we're still kind of dealing, like when you're looking at having a warehouse that's, with 2,000 lights, we're harvesting every 2.5 days. We're rotating. We only have 3.5 days to actually trim the entire room. I'm like trying to, really focus on, I don't want to see crow's feet and the quality of trim and trimming on stem. Growing that, it's easy to train 7, 8, 10 trimmers. It's much harder to train 44 to 50 trimmers. You have
and
to
make sure everybody's on point.
Make sure everybody's on point.
Yep.
Everybody's feeling 100% to work through that day. It's a very, very rigorously, physically hard job. I think that our teams have done a really good job on motivating and keeping people on trimming. I'm a big believer in having beautiful trim. Yeah.
I hate when I see trimmers using the sides of their scissors, just shaving. I'm like, tips, just snap off that little leaf and
always trim on stem. I mean, it's going to be it's going to
I like do that twist, that twist it around.
Treat it, yep, and don't cut into the buds, right?
Yeah.
And every strain has kind of a different methodology. So you have to grow more of a thing to a different structure. Biscotti always kind of, figuring out, or I think it's relatively difficult to trim, but it's just about having a team and knowing what they're doing. Important.
I love it. Mm-hmm. You touched a little bit on, emerging markets, but I want to dive into that. What are your thoughts on, emerging markets or chasing new emerging markets versus just reinvesting in California so that when the market's open, you could just go from here versus go into another market, go into another established or upcoming market?
We don't have the scale or the interest to do it, but what we have been able to do is have good licensing deals. So we've made some good licensing deals. We've given people genetics. We've given people our SOPs. Worked with their cultivation team, so not only is it improving the weed for CAM in those facilities, but it's also improving the weed for themselves, and so They feel like it's a win-win, and they actually want to grow your product and sell your product. So currently we're in New York, Illinois, about to be in Arizona, and back in Colorado. So it's a good run.
Little homage to her.
Yeah, it's good. So, but we don't have to go out there and build the facilities, take the team, cut the team here, send them over there, find team members out there. So the licensing factor, once the brand is strong enough, I think is a good play for us to try it out.
What would be some tips on finding a good licensing partner? Because you're not going to live there, you're not going to stay there to oversee it. Maybe an onboarding portion, but what are some good tips of finding the right person to work with in other states?
Well, I think it's a couple different factors. You can either, with the very big companies, for someone that's, mid-size or smaller like us, you want to find people that you're going to have some value to. So you can either go 2 routes. One, find the best grower but then you have to give them tons of financial capital to do the branding side of it. That's one option. And the other is maybe finding facilities that have a lot of grow space that will actually let you grow your strains in there, and then helping them improve, just like you're talking about, going there and be like, oh, let's look at your clones. Oh, let's talk about how we can kind of improve this. Oh, looks like your mom plants are 5 months old. Probably a bad idea. Let's restart these suckers.
Start fresh.
Let's start fresh. Yeah, absolutely. So some of that stuff.
So on that note, touch a little bit on the importance of a strong start with your clones and the maybe not reaching the full potential of the genetic if you don't have the proper start. We're talking about offline earlier.
I think that's the biggest piece. I mean, I was telling you, you don't need to go anywhere but in a clone room and a mom room to see the health of a grow. I mean, whatever they are doing in the flower rooms, if the clone room and the mom room looks rough, or there's, pest pressure. I mean, we're in cultivation, so you're going to have some of that stuff all the time. So whenever I interview people and they're like, I've never had a bug, I've never seen a mite, I'm like,
you're lying or you're not growing.
Can't recognize it.
You thought it was something else.
That's a fungus gnat. No, it's not.
Yeah.
But so
with
I
the microscope.
Yes, exactly. So I think that going back to your question of moms, don't keep them for more than 2 or 3 cuts. Like, I mean, just, that's the thing of constantly rotating your moms and making sure you have an environment that's going to allow your moms to grow at a rapid rate. So, having that, and then in the clones, having that 80 degrees, somewhere between, 65 to 70% humidity. That type of stuff is so important to just have that consistently.
Oh, yeah.
And then folks that are really like, they're just the clone team is probably, you want to have your very, very best growers in the veg. I think that is the most, if you find the folks that are paying attention to detail, they're managing your whole thing, right? Mislabeling, nightmare.
Ugh.
Wrong moms, losing strains, nightmare. Overwatering clones, not watching the
having enough for
environment,
transplant,
nightmare. Not being able to fill a room and you have 2 rows that are empty or whatever it is,
and you're scrambling
to put in plants that you didn't want to put into, and then then you got a sales team that's like, why'd you grow this crap? Well, that's what we had to put in at the time. It's 2 months later, so everything's all interconnected. So
absolutely. So with your amount of lights, thousands of lights here, what's kind of your sweet spot as far as the size of lights per room to kind of maintain that balance of the right production amount, quality, get them out to the stores? What's kind of your sweet spot?
I'm still the biggest fan of a 500 light facility with 70 light rooms.
70 light rooms.
70 light rooms. Like, we have facilities that have 105, 112 light rooms. We continue to see the problems that we don't see in a 70 light room. But that's just because we're still learning. I'm not saying that you can't have a 200 light room and put out, there's people who are going to prove me wrong every single day. So, which is amazing. But for us, we have found a sweet spot of having rectangular rooms, 70 lights. Also then you're not harvesting an insane amount of product each time. So then your dry rooms, you're evenly drying, all of that kind of stuff. Now most people are going down in plant count, which is good, right, for some of it. But then some strains, they don't do well with a lower plant count. So, and we're still, since we're growing for the brand, CAM, we're having 6, 7 different strains in a room still, which is, these poor cultivators.
You don't hear that very often.
Yeah, no, because you're growing for a brand, so you have to continue to
the full menu.
Exactly.
Fresh drops
menu,
of every strain.
Fresh drops. Now, from a cultivation standpoint, would I love to just monocrop all day? Of course, but I don't have that luxury.
Yeah.
We're not there yet. We're not there
maybe
yet.
when the markets open up, then that whole drop goes that way, that whole drop
or we
goes
have
that
enough
way.
lights where we can do that, and we're still rotating 7 to 10 strains.
Yeah, interesting. Love to hear it. So, on that, tell us a bit more on the your thoughts, your insights, your view on the Sacramento cannabis community, the hub
It's the best.
there.
Yeah, it's so good. It's Sacramento. It's great.
Yeah.
Sacramento is great. People.
Is it Pacramento?
Yeah, it's great. It has affordable industrial buildings. People are really passionate. We have so many amazing brands that are there. CAM's there, Alien Labs, LAX. There's just so many different, amazing,
big movers, shakers,
people that have been in it for a long time. Legacy folks combining some of the legacy aspects with running a good business, taking care of your day ones, bringing in smart people to kind of efficiently scale. It's amazing.
Is there any other markets that are kind of, you see it from afar, you're like, yeah, I'd like to go there or consider that other spot? Or
we're in New York and
it's
amazing. New York is, it just has such a rich legacy of, the sour teas. It's just New York is New York. And
Right.
I think that's going to be an exciting, amazing market for us. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you still going to be delivering when you are?
No, I am trying to, I think after it's all said and done, I'd love to retire to to a 20 lighter somewhere. But yeah.
Nice.
We're still delivering.
Always keep something pumping.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Never shut it off. Never shut it off. Throughout your growth, what are some of the biggest challenges you've faced, and what are some possible tips that you could share so that others can avoid those same challenges?
Pick your partners wisely. Mm-hmm. Be really careful who you're taking money from. Don't exchange that type of stuff for just scaling slowly is fine too. Be okay with what you don't know